Welcome back to Q&A the Librarian Way. My name is Emily from the Gnoming Librarian.
And I'm Julia from Stylish in the Stacks.
And we had a comment on YouTube comments asking for us to talk about ways that we encourage Reader's Advisory beyond book talk. So thank you, Debbie Accord, for watching and posting a question. And Julia, what do you do?
I feel like I am a walking Reader's Advisory. I feel like everything I put up in the library or just how I plan things is all about talking with students about reading. And yes, I do a ton of book talks, scheduled and unscheduled. Oh, I was just bragging that nothing ever falls down when I sit here. And now look. But I do a lot of other things too, especially with my signage. I have a sign at the desk that is a Simpsons character version of me that says, "What is Mrs. Reynolds currently reading?" And I always change that up. Yeah, it's awesome. Burger King did that promotion like 5 years ago, and it was great. Okay. You could make your own Simpsons character. And then I like putting a lot of posters and things in the library that are related to young adult books and kind of cool looking. And it's not that stereotypical Garfield poster of him like eating lasagna and reading a book, you know, which is awesome if you were born in the 80s, you know, like us. And so I did blog about this week actually at Stylish in the Stacks if you want to check it out. But I have some Hunger Games posters for each district. I have the whole Harry Potter series told like as a graphic novel. Just some, you know, some fun stuff like that.
Conversation starters.
Definitely. A little out of the norm.
We have those things around the teen room too. We do Wordle book reviews, so we'll do a little blurb or a quote we like from the book with the book cover, and then instead of just listing subject headings, we do a Wordle so they can kind of see all the different plot points in the book, if we really liked it, or that's kind of just in, hey, Emily liked this, but with the world to just kind of give them an idea beyond the blurb. So we have those up. We do a lot of the posters too, like the minimalist posters of Divergent and Harry Potter.
Yeah, you should get on Pinterest and look for minimalist posters. Like Disney has some really cool minimalist posters, but there's a lot for, you know, The Fault in Our Stars or whatever book.
We of course do bookmarks, brochures. We have a magazine called Get Your Read On, so it's themed book lists. It's actually digital and in the teen room for them to pick up and grab, so it does link to our catalog online, which is really kind of nice. Yeah. That took a lot of time, so I don't update it as often as I should probably, and then we have two different book displays every month, so we switch them out monthly to kind of keep things fresh.
Yeah, and I don't do a ton of book displays, but I do have like the now becoming standard red box display in the library, but that gets a lot of attention. And I always put our new books out on display. And then I've seen libraries that have put like little speech bubbles by books that says, you know, so-and-so recommends this book, which, you know, is a cool way of getting your students involved and talking about their favorites.
We actually, whenever we put up a book display, we've made a bookmark that has on the back a place for like a 2-sentence review. And we've had a lot of kids turn that in. So after they read the book, they rate, you know, if they liked it or not, how many stars they'd give it, and they turn it in, and we tweet those.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and we try to, anytime we get any kind of a review, we try to, you know, tweet the author too, and then to let the kids know if the author tweets back is huge.
That is
to
huge.
Have that kind
and
of
Twitter's actually a great way of doing Reader's Advisory. Like this book just came in and it's getting rave reviews. Come check it out. You know?
Yep. Yeah. We also do a lot of Reader's Advisory kind of things with our weekly program. I'm big into passive programming because I can't be in the teen room all the time, and I just can't program 24 hours a day, even though the teens would probably love that. So we have every week on Monday we set out a program, and it's just sitting there for the whole week. And so kids who come in, they actually look for it now. Hey, we give a piece of candy if they do it, but we do a lot of Reader's Advisory kind of thing just to get them to interact with the books. So it's not always a conversation, but we've done the book face contest where they hold the book.
Yes, those are fun.
We've done the book spine poetry. We've done kind of book scavenger hunts that we'll give a riddle and they've got to try to find the book. We've had March Madness with books, so we kind of weed it down.
Contests are fun. We do a weekly Rosie raffle in our library. We're giving away the Divergent movie this week, which is fun.
Nice.
So
I think there's a lot of little things you can do, especially if your kids aren't big book conversationalists, and that happens sometimes. I mean, my manga kids are huge, and they want to sit and talk to you about the entire plot line, and after book 56, you're just kind of, you know, glazed
Yeah.
over and, oh my goodness, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I let them keep talking because they're passionate about it. But
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have the kids that come in and want to just have, ooh, I read this, let's talk about it conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So to make them comfortable, we have those, we do offer that conversation, but then we all have all that other stuff that kind of just happens.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of subtle things you can do
Mm-hmm.
to really bring in a book atmosphere that's not overwhelming, especially for those kids that aren't big readers.
And I do blog about books. We both blog about books at our blogs, and that helps too. Like, a lot of my kids know about Stylish in the Stacks. They'll ask me, like, what outfits are you designing right now, and what characters? And so that's been really fun too. Just kind of a cool outlet, a way for them to check it out on their own, even when you're not around.
And I have to admit, when it comes to Reader's Advisory, I love doing book talks and walking to the stacks and trying to find that book for that right kid. But I have those awful moments when it's like, I've read a book. Have I read a book?
Yeah.
I mean, or we, in the public library at least, we get a lot of the parent-kid duo, which is always interesting because the parent has one idea of what they want their kid to read
Yeah.
and the kid has the other, so you're trying to blend those two.
Yep.
So a lot of those bookmarks and brochures and pamphlets really come in handy to kind of get both parties comfortable too.
Yeah.
So, well, I think even Reader's Advisory, your genreification is Reader's Advisory as well in a lot of sense.
It is.
So that browsers, it's a way for browsers to find something much easier.
Yeah, and the conversations that we have now when I'm helping students find books is different than when all of the genres were mixed together. Because now, if I know that they love fantasy, that just initiates a whole other conversation when we're standing in that fantasy section. So,
Yeah. So, do you have, I know we've had also a couple comments about your Rosie scavenger hunt. You should talk a little more about that.
So it takes a lot of work. I mean, it took a lot of work to set up, but there's 25 Rosies on the list. And every Monday they get a clue that is a 4-stanza poem written by me that rhymes. The Rhyming Dictionary and I are really good friends right now. That basically is the summary of the book. And so from that clue, from that poem, they have to figure out what Rosie it is. And I put a page number at the bottom. And they have to read the page in the book. And something that is on that page will lead them to their next clue. So, for example, the poem that led them to the book Out of the Easy by Rudis the Petties, there's a page in the book where she is working at a bookstore and she's recommending David Copperfield. So that clued them in that they needed to go find David Copperfield on our shelves. And in David Copperfield was their assignment for the week. And the assignment relates to the book in some way. So Out of the Easy is about a girl that's trying to get out of New Orleans, and that's kind of the whole driving force in her life. And so they had to make a flowchart online of their plans once they get out of high school. So Out of the Easy, out of high school. And so what's your driving force? What are you going to do? What's your plan once you get out of high school? So it all kind of relates to each other. This week they are going to get, or next week they're going to get a clue for October Morning by Leslie Newman. And that is going to lead them to a trash can, because there's something about a trash can. So the clues will be on a trash can, and October Morning is a bunch of different poems told from different perspectives, and so they're going to have to pick an inanimate object in the library and write about its perspective for a day. Who picks it up, what kinds of students go around it, or does no one go around that part of the library? So just different activities that relate to the books, but they don't have to have read the book in order to figure all this out. And at the end of the semester, they're writing an essay about how books help us explore reality, not just about escaping, but exploring. It's kind of like John Green's wife doing the art assignment. Like you're taking, inspiration from someone's work and doing your own assignment, and that's kind of what this is. This is a book assignment.
So how do you make sure that there is a copy of the book that they need for the week on the shelf?
If there is not, I've told them, because our Rosies do go. And so this week was Beautiful Music for Ugly Children, and all the copies were gone. I tell them that if they think they figured out the book but there are no copies of it, I will have photocopied the page number out of the book, and so they'll just come get the photocopy page from me, so they at least have the page in the book.
Page for it. Very cool.
Yeah, and I'm only planning these out a couple weeks in advance just so that I do know if it's on the shelf. But it requires me to have read the Rosies, to do a lot of prep, so it is a lot of work. But I think, this could be something done with a book club. You could have a special section of books, that they get to do fun stuff like that with. It gives my students a chance to get to know the Rosies. They may not read them, but they
Have
at
any
least
of
know
them
what they're
checked one
about.
out? Okay.
Yeah, I had a girl that she could not wait on Beautiful Music for Ugly Children to come back in, so she went and bought her own copy
Nice.
just this week, which
Very
was pretty
nice.
great. So yeah, it's been really successful. They have fun with it. I don't think they work together. I think they like trying to figure it out on their own.
Any
Yeah.
thoughts of expanding it to the classes themselves, or do you think you'll keep it with your media?
You know, that's a good question. Maybe. I mean, my Rosie selection is, I only usually have 5 copies of each book.
Mhm.
So it may be a little overwhelming for a class. But maybe like maybe one honors class or something, like maybe just piloting it a little farther out. But it's been really successful so far.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I have to give her credit because I think you came up with the initial idea. And I was like, oh, how could I make that work? But then you let me do all the, clue writing and.
They're your students.
Yeah, I
I've
know.
got my
You
own.
just gave me the idea,
Yeah.
and then I got to figure it all out.
That's the kind of the beauty of this for us, and then hopefully you have someone out there too, that you have that person that you can just
And if
bounce
not,
off
email
ideas.
us. We like to
Bounce
talk to
ideas
people.
off,
Yeah.
say, hey, I need something fresh to start. What should I, any ideas? And it's just
Yeah.
fun because
It
we
is.
all are passionate about what we do, passionate about getting books to kids, and providing an atmosphere that is comfortable and fun and that they
And I
can-
love stealing ideas. I mean, I totally stole an idea from my friend Lena. I watched her orientation video that she shoots off to her teachers, and I'm like, that is adorable and fun, and I didn't come up with it and probably won't come up with anything better. So I emailed her and I said, I'm totally going to do the same thing. Are you okay with that? And yeah.
Hey, why reinvent the wheel?
We're all in
yeah.
different places,
Yeah, it's not
and we're not
competition.
stealing each other's kids,
That'd be weird.
And my kids think I'm cool that I came up with this orientation video. Not that I didn't tell them it wasn't my initial idea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we would love to hear what kind of readers
Yeah.
advisory things you're doing in your library. So please continue to leave comments and questions
Yeah, we loved
below.
reading those.
This
So
was
thank you,
nice.
Debbie. It
Yes,
was. And
we
thanks,
are
Jen, for your
topic
comment
picked
as
out.
well.
Yeah, thank you for watching, and we will be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.